Morning, everybody. How you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. I'm Sean Butler. Bugsy Malone has just been put inside so I can get these things done without too many more interruptions, barking. Naughty step for Bugsy. How are you? Hope you're happy and healthy doing the things you love. Please do me a favor, guys, like you always do. Smash the like button for me on the video. Smash the subscribe if you haven't already. Join the now 8,920 of those that have gone before. Welcome back to the old, welcome to the new. Hit the notification bell and drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on today's topic, which is, of course, David Raya. But if you want to skip ahead to get to that point, the chapters are beneath. You can find the point where I start talking about him. Before I can do that, I want to update you guys on my health news. I did mention it on yesterday's live stream. So, apologies if you were watching and this is repetitive, but for those of you that haven't seen that, I feel obliged to keep you in the loop. Over the last 4 or 5 weeks, you guys have been overwhelmingly supportive to me, catching up, asking me how I'm getting on with all the health tests that I've been going through. Obviously, it's been a very scary time being put on the cancer pathway when they took a couple of tests regarding some abdominal pains that I've been having. Bad abdominal pains for the past, several months. And they saw things wrong with my various organs, pancreas, bile duct, gallbladder, liver. And they sent me through for a bunch of tests that led to more scans. I think I've had more scans than Ryan Sessegnon. In fact, no, I definitely haven't had more scans than Ryan Sessegnon. But they've probably taken more blood out of me than anybody else. I feel like Monty Burns in The Simpsons, when they put like a needle in him and just dust flies up. Anyway, so I've been prodded and probed quite a lot. And it's been a really scary time, but not knowing. But I did get a phone call yesterday morning, and I guess they conflated all of the results and updated me all at once. And in a nutshell, all of the things that they thought they saw with the initial scans, with deeper scans, didn't prove to be true. And the things that they can see that's wrong with me, hiatus hernias and liver that's pretty fatty, things like that. All of those things can be treated with medication and lifestyle change. So I'm over the moon, as you can imagine. The relief, the weight off my mind is insane, and I'm really excited to look forward now. So much so that I bought a season ticket this morning, which was, that website is something else. The experience on that website, that's for another day. But I will be seeing you guys at the stadium this season. So looking forward to meeting those that I haven't met throughout the year. But yeah, so I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart that I couldn't be more grateful to everybody, each and every one of you guys that has reached out. At the time when I let you guys know that I was maybe taking a little bit of a step back for a while, and then people that have reached out in every single video asking for the update, how I'm doing, in live streams, not just on this channel but on other channels, people that have reached out on DMs on Twitter or Instagram and on WhatsApp if you have my number. It's been overwhelming, guys, and it's really got me through a tough period. And I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I won't forget it. And look, for me, the experience has taught me quite a few things. One is, take care of yourself better. I've learned that lesson and I'm trying to make those changes. But also now I've experienced the fear of those, potential consequences of what, 1 in 2 of us are going to get later in life or at some point in our life. Now, for me at the moment, of course, it's come out on the right side, but, I know that's not the case for everyone. And a lot of people in the comments have shared their personal health journeys with me as well. I know that a lot of you are still going through those troubles. And I can only imagine what it might have been like to have got the other diagnosis, which some of you have got. I'm here for you guys like you were for me. So if you need me, if you want to talk, reach out. I'm always going to pick up the phone and we'll work through it. But thank you to everyone. It really has been like an unbelievable learning experience, and I can't be more grateful to the community. You know, honestly, I don't know what I would do now if this community like didn't exist anymore. I don't know like what I would do with my time. It takes up so much of it, and I love being a part of it. So yeah, thanks guys. Wow, 5.5 minutes to say thank you. It's like an Oscars acceptance speech. Right, let's get on with David Raya, shall we? So the news this morning: Paul O'Keefe is he's not a journalist. He's like an in the know, a club insider at Tottenham, but he's a relatively reliable one. I don't know who he knows at the club, but you know when he talks, people listen. And he comes out with a tweet saying that Tottenham are basically turning their attentions elsewhere from David Raya. We can only infer from that it's the asking price that there's just no wiggle room on. Brentford won't budge on the 40 million, and Tottenham aren't going to budge on whatever their number is. And look, a lot of you guys were fearful of this happening. I was confident that we would make it happen. I'm obviously less so this morning. You know how I feel about this. Is he worth £40 million? Probably not relative to the market. Is he worth £40 million to Tottenham? I think he is. Because if you don't have him, who else do you go for? And if you're going to look for someone cheaper, then what are you sacrificing in not just the quality of the goalkeeper, but the specificities of what he has or the other people have for the role that you need? And I don't think there is a better sweeper keeper out there that's within our range that we can go for. I mean, Paul O'Keefe is linking us to Vicario from Empoli. For me, I'll be honest, Vicario is a wonderful shot stopper. He's a very, very good shot stopper. I think he saves like 3 in every 4 shots that are hit his way. Brilliant shot stopper. Is he a sweeper keeper? No. I think he leaves his box like 2 times every 3 games or something. You know, so he's certainly not someone who's coming out of the box. Empoli don't play with a high line. His distribution leaves a lot to be desired. I think his average long pass is like 40 metres, so inside the Empoli half, almost, or around the halfway mark. And his accuracy and his completion rate is woefully low. I haven't got the stats, but I remember from looking at him before. He's not good with his launching goal kicks. He's not good with his hands. Like the average distribution with his hand is just a rollout. You're never going to see him launch balls like Edison or Allison do, where they get to the halfway line with incredible velocity and accuracy. He's okay at coming for crosses. But you know what? He reminds me a little bit of Hugo Lloris. Very good at the basics, the things that you need a goalkeeper to be, keeping the ball out the back of the net. But every goalkeeper at that level should be good at that thing. That is the basics of what a goalkeeper is. I do not understand why Tottenham would be looking at him as a sweeper keeper role. He doesn't have any of the things that we need. Distribution, competence, confidence, and reassuredness to come out and protect the back line. He's just not experienced at it. Doesn't mean that he can't do it. But from what I've seen at Empoli of him, he's not that guy. He's not that guy. So where else are Tottenham going to go? Well, we've been linked with like Mamardashvili. I don't think that's going to happen. We've been linked with Bono or Bunu, however you say his name, from Villarreal. He's a very good goalkeeper. Does he fit the system quite like David Raya? No. How much did Villarreal want for him? They wanted 30 million. If you remember, we did a talk about him before. When we got the Y-Scout tool up on a live stream a few weeks ago, we were talking about Truly from Ajax is a really good fit, but he's 31, so I don't know if Tottenham would go for him. I don't know if he would leave Ajax. And I like the look of that Milenkovic-Savic from Torino. He looks very, very competent and capable. But he's a bigger risk. He hasn't necessarily done it he hasn't got the Premier League experience. But whilst I'm saying that out loud, I'm going to pull that back because when you're looking at outfield players, there's a very relevant question of can they do it at this level? Like if you get like an Alex Scott, for example, and you say, well, he's done it at the Championship, but can he do it at the Premier League? What about Ollie Skip? Brilliant in the Championship, but is he really Premier League standard? But that's more of a reasonable conversation, because when you're looking at outfield players, it's not so much just about that person's skill, it's how they can adapt to the players around them. Whereas a goalkeeper, in a nutshell, if a goalkeeper can make world-class saves, and if a goalkeeper can kick the ball with accuracy 60, 70 metres into the right spot, if you can do that at League Two, you could do that at the Premier League, because you're not really reacting so much, or you're not really being affected so much by the things that are happening around you, like you are an outfield player. So the question of whether they can make the transition to a different level or a different league, I don't necessarily think is quite as big of a deal with goalkeepers. But I mean, who else are we looking at? I remember we were looking at that guy, Altay from Fenerbahce. Again, really good player, very agile. And he does play sweeper keeper for Fenerbahce. And we were linked with him. The Turkish press even said back in April that we had agreed a deal. I've subsequently read that same sort of thing 3 or 4 times from the Turkish press, so I think they're quite liberal with the use of like deal agreed. Livakovic from Zagreb. A lot of Tottenham fans. I see a lot of you guys in the comments mentioning him. I'll be entirely honest, like I only really know him from the World Cup. I mean, that's probably true for a lot of people, a bit of recency bias. I don't follow Zagreb's league form, and I haven't taken the time to look into him on the Y-Scout, so I don't really know. I'm not going to comment on him. He did look good in the World Cup, though. Yeah, that's kind of it, really. I don't know where else we're going to go. I mean, the only other goalkeeper that I like from the Premier League, especially when it comes to playing in the role with the specificities of what you need, the guy's willingness to come out of the box, the distribution, the shot stopping, plus for the kind of shithousery side of things, I do like Emiliano Martinez from Aston Villa. But I don't know if he was to leave Aston Villa, why would he come to Tottenham? I mean, it's a sideways step, isn't it? There's not much difference between the two teams. And I know he's mentioned that he might want to leave, but I think he wants to leave the UK and go for a different challenge. So I can't imagine that happening. In all, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why Paul O'Keefe has this information. Why Tottenham? Is there maybe some sort of 4D chess going on where Tottenham... You know, I mentioned before about the absence of transfer rumours. The absence of, like, if there's no more links, then sometimes it can lean one side of the negotiation or the other, can have a little bit more pressure, a little bit more leverage. If there's the threat of other people coming in, or the threat of the only buyer who's really been mentioned walking away, then maybe it kind of leans into the buyer or the seller of the player. Adds another dynamic. I don't know if that's the case here. If you were to do that, if Tottenham were really to want to do that, would they plant that story with Paul O'Keefe, who isn't a journalist? Maybe it looks more sincere if it comes from Paul O'Keefe. More so than if they went to someone like Sammy Mockbell from the Daily Mail, who makes stories up and puts the word could. Tottenham could turn their interests to Mamadashvili. It's like 7 helicopters going overhead. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I know. It's Ascot, isn't it? All these rich people going to Ascot today. Anyway. Yeah, would you plant the story with a clickbait journalist or like a ragtop, or would you do it 4D chess through someone where the story looks more sincere, that's not a journalist? I don't know. All I'm going to say is, guys, that it's very worrying. I really want David Raya. He fits the bill to a T. He is the perfect goalkeeper for us. I put a video out that went through his stats in detail. If you haven't seen it and you want to understand why he's so perfect for us, then click the button at the top of the screen. But I just hope that Daniel Levy doesn't mess this one up. It does reek of him, you know, doing his usual nonsense where he is, you know, he sees every negotiation as a battle where someone has to win and someone has to lose. It's a zero-sum game. And I think in his mind, like, walking away from a deal that's good for Tottenham because he doesn't want to be the guy who gives an inch, it saves his ego a crisis, even though it hurts Tottenham's chances, and he'll see that as winning because he himself hasn't lost, even though the club has. So it's very frustrating. And you know what? I've mentioned this again and again and again. The absence of a DOF is a problem, not just because it's Daniel Levy that's doing the negotiating, we can presume, but also because this is another can that is getting kicked down the road. If this one does fall apart, we start the process again with another goalkeeper and another club and go through this whole thing. And we've got allegedly 9 players to get out of the club this summer and maybe 7 or 8 coming in. That's 16 or 17 players that have to be figured out. And there's only 8 weeks until the season starts. 7 weeks, I think, 7.5, whatever it is, 8 weeks. That doesn't give you a lot of time. That's like 3 days per transfer. And we've been haggling over this one for 3 weeks and we're nowhere closer. It's incredibly frustrating, guys. But you know what? I'm not going to let it ruin my day because today's a good day. I've got the season ticket and I'm feeling a little bit healthier, at least up here, if not down here just yet. Like, subscribe and comment, guys. Thanks again for all your support and love. Really appreciate it. And as always, bye-bye.